The story of Habeel and Qabeel. A problem arose when it came time for a sect of his children to marry. The first boy, Qabeel, wished to marry his own twin rather than let Habeel, another brother, marry her. Since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not allowed this, Habeel and Sainab resisted the idea, which enraged Qabeel, and he became hostile towards Habeel. To resolve the dispute, Adam salam suggested that both brothers offer a sacrifice, and whoever had his sacrifice accepted by Allah could get married to the girl in question. Adam salam was certain that Habeel's sacrifice would be accepted since he was following Allah's guidance, whereas Qabeel was going against it. Back in those days, when a sacrifice was accepted, a fire would come from the sky and eat up the object of sacrifice. On the other hand, rejected sacrifices remained untouched. In this way, it would be obvious whose sacrifice was accepted, and that brother could get married to the girl in question. Habeel was the owner of a flock of animals and offered a healthy animal for sacrifice. Qabeel was a farmer and offered his sacrifice of a few grains. Soon, a fire came from the sky and ate up Habeel's sacrifice, whereas Qabeel's remained untouched. Qabeel felt disgraced and became furious. He threatened his brother. "I will kill you," he screamed, enraged. But Habeel did not respond angrily and instead politely replied, "Allah only accepts from the God-fearing." This should have been a lesson for Qabeel. His sacrifice was rejected because he was disrespecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's laws, not because Habeel had anything to do with it. He could have mended his ways and become from among the broad-faring duo, but he chose not to. Habeel told Qabeel, "If you raise your hand to kill me, I will not raise mine to kill you. Because I fear Allah, the Lord of all worlds. I want to let you bear your sin against me along with your other sins. Then you will be one of those destined to the fire, and that is the punishment of the wrongdoers." It is said that Habeel was stronger than Qabeel, but because he did not want to displease Allah, he did not wish to engage in the fight. Instead, he continued to remind Qabeel about how he was incurring sin after sin. This would lead him to a terrible fate if he didn't stop. Unfortunately, instead of taking heed, Qabeel continued to focus his anger on his brother and ended up killing Habeel. Oh Allah, his jealousy and disobedience to Allah made him commit the first major sin in the history of mankind, that too against his own brother. He not only endured Allah's anger and the sin on his record, but he will also have to bear a portion of sin from every murder that is committed in the world because of him being the first one to come up with this sin. This is equally true for anyone who begins doing a good deed when others learn from it and get inspired to do the same good deed. The initial doer gets a share in everyone else's reward too. It's like a chain of goodness that spreads. Qabeel didn't know what to do with his brother's body. Allah sent a crow to show him what to do, the crow dug a hole in the ground to bury a dead crow. When Adil saw this, he felt sorry and thought regretfully, "Alas, had I even failed to be like this crow and buried the body of my brother?" Nevertheless, he learned from the crow's actions and buried Habi in the same way. Idil and Thanam went on to have many children and grandchildren and great grandchildren and so on. It is said that he lived to be about 1,000 years before he returned to Allah, with his life Hawa passing away soon after. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Make sure to hit that like button if you did, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you're the first to know when our next episode drops. We've got some exciting stuff coming up and you won't want to miss it. See you in the next video.